conseguiram dar para o comportamento de Kurt Cobain na apoteose é que ele estava revoltado com os veículos de comunicação. Mas como você vai ver, ele não parecia tão revoltado assim com a MTV quando ele sentou para dar essa entrevista exclusiva. Kurt conversou um tempão com a gente e você vai ver hoje a primeira parte dessa entrevista da semana, onde ele falou do Nirvana, do próximo álbum de Courtney Love e de muito mais. Olha só.
I think we're going in more of an experimental new wave type of direction. It's kind of hard to explain. Actually, have you heard the Incesticide record? That's the kind of band we used to be. We used to be more like Gang of Four, new wave influence, like more experimental with more noise and different effects boxes and stuff. And then we started getting too much into straight-ahead garage, grunge music, and that's pretty much what Bleach was like. And then Nevermind was more pop, a little bit more commercial. And now we're kind of reverting back to the first thing, which would sound more like Incesticide, just weirder stuff.
Was that intentional, this kind of evolution? I mean, you going towards commercial songs? And,
We just happened to be really into the idea at the time. It seemed like a really challenging idea at the time because we were playing punk rock underground clubs, and we thought it would be really funny to test that out on those kind of people to see if they would be able to swallow more of a clean pop, sound, and see if we can get away with it, because we love that kind of music. We like a lot of commercial music that's good, most of it's old, most of the old commercial stuff we like, but it was just something to do. We're pretty much bored with that phase now because you're really limited, especially when you're a three-piece, because there's not much you can do with, three-chord guitar rock.
Not really. Well, the whole new wave concept, I mean, when it began, it was very pop. I mean,
oh, yeah.
Like, if you can name any bands, you mentioned...
like the B-52 or Devo, anything. I think that's one of the most grossest periods of music in history is right around the mid-'80s when this crossover metal and punk rock thing started happening, where it wasn't cool to write songs that had melody anymore. It had to be total noise and aggression all the time, and I just got really sick of that.
Amanhã tem mais Kurt Cobain exclusivo só aqui na sua. Vou falar até de Madonna. Isso porque ela está chegando cada vez mais perto do som alternativo que Nirvana representa, contratando bandas novas para sua gravadora Maverick. Mas por mais que você ache que Kurt deve desprezar Madonna, ele até que admira algumas coisas da cantora, se bem que não exatamente esse namoro dela com o grunge.
People like that tend to think that they can buy anything, I personally don't think that she's really sincerely into that kind of music. I wouldn't know because I don't know her as a person, so maybe she is, but to me it seemed kind of superficial. It seems like a cash-in kind of thing.
We just signed a group called Candlebox from Seattle. That's our newest.
For the grunge scene thing?
Yeah, kind of. Kind of in the Alice in Chains sort of Pearl Jam.
And an attempt to be kind of hip and get a little bit more credibility. But in a way, I respect Madonna for the things that she has introduced, because she's introduced some subversive things, and it has nothing to do with sex as far as I'm concerned. I'm talking about like the introduction to the Vogue dance, which originated in the gay clubs in the mid-'80s and early '80s. And stuff like that, and she's always been supportive of things like that, which is, I think, is really cool. She's just from a different world, so I don't expect her to understand punk rock, because, I mean, obviously she knew about punk rock. She had to. She was hanging out in New York at that time, and she chose to ignore it, so that was her choice.
How superficial are consumers and all that? The mess.
I don't know. It's hard to say right now because it seems like people, well, generally people are looking for things that are a bit more sincere and real now. I try to be optimistic enough to hope that people are looking towards things like that.
Outra investida de Madonna no grunge, mas que não deu muito certo, foi com a banda Hole, da mulher de Kurt Cobain, Courtney Love. Bom, também esteve gravando alguma coisa no Rio e Kurt comentou sobre como sua relação com ela interfere no trabalho das duas bandas.
Well, we just like to be together all the time. You know, we're best friends. She's my best friend, and so when she's playing music, I like to listen to it and maybe suggest some things, and she does the same thing with me too. And this was just an opportunity for her to. She came with us, and Patty, her drummer, came too. It's just a vacation, and so this was just a spontaneous thing for them to just make a few demos and see what they're going to do with it.
Nem precisa te lembrar como foi difícil a passagem de Courtney Love no Brasil junto com a banda Nirvana. Mas mesmo com tanta briga, parece que o casal voltou bem pra casa. Amanhã, Kurt Cobain vai estar falando sobre a música do Nirvana com detalhes inéditos. Mas por enquanto, o MTV no ar fica por aqui e você continua ligado nos melhores vídeos da sua aí. Claro que Kurt não gosta muito de um estádio e ele tem uma boa razão pra isso. Nem todo mundo saca o que Nirvana tá afim de fazer no palco.
I think we played a couple of new songs. And then we did some new wave songs, you know, when we started jamming and stuff. But for the most part, we don't want to over-practice the new songs. Actually, it's a good idea to play new songs, you know, to see what the vibe is like live. But I guess I don't have an explanation why we didn't play more new songs, really. Normally we do, but a while ago we got so tired of people bootlegging stuff, and we want the new album to be more or less a surprise. We don't want anyone to know what the new songs sound like. It's flattering to know that we are affecting that many people, but I'm certain that a very good majority of the people had no idea what the fuck we were doing. You know, they had no idea that we were doing new wave covers and trying to have fun and trading off instruments and just trying to have a party atmosphere, because most of them only attend those kind of arena large rock shows and they expect a very clean professional performance from a band. So, you know, but as far as I'm concerned, I would rather play in a smaller club, because it's just more intimate and fun. I really like it. I can hear the band. I'm closer to my bandmates, and we can look at each other. I don't have to say, hey, Chris, 100 feet away over there, you know. And I've never hardly ever enjoyed watching an arena rock show. I think I've only seen a few of them. I really liked Aerosmith when I saw them about 10 years ago, and that was a really big show. But that's just because I like the band so much, and you know, I was real familiar with the songs and everything. But I would have rather seen them in a club, you know, or a theater of a few thousand people, for sure. I've never heard a band that sounds like us. I can't say that I've heard a band who sounds like they rip us off or have been influenced by us. And if they have been influenced by us, I hope they've just been influenced by the sincerity we try to put off.
Mas a humildade de Kurt não reconhece ninguém influenciado pelo Nirvana. Ele falou sem problema de uma banda que o influenciou muito, o Young Marble Giants.
I'm heavily influenced by them. It doesn't sound like it in our music, but they're the emotions they evoked, and the feeling, the sincerity and all that. It's just, and the songwriting, I think, is fantastic, and it's so original too. You know, no drums, you know, except for the little tick 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 Casio thing. Great. And I just love that stuff.
Esse único álbum do Young Marble Giants é uma raridade que vale a pena você procurar.